everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
So you want to add style to your graffiti. Today, I got 10 easy ways to do just that, and it'll work for your hand styles, throwaways, and pieces. The first one, and honestly one of my favorites, is to adjust your mean line. By adjusting our mean line, we can drastically change not only the proportions of our letters. For example, if we move the mean line down, the tops of our letters become larger and the bottoms become smaller, but we also change the negative space management of our letter and the letter name weight. And obviously, we change the structure quite a bit by doing this. So just by making one simple adjustment, moving the mean line up or down, we change most of graffiti's fundamentals. This, in all honesty, especially if you already know the basics, is one of the easiest ways to completely alter your style. And the best part is, it takes like no effort at all. If you're newer, try this out on your tags. Just play around with it, right? See how it looks, see how you like it, see the effect it has on letters. And with that, it'll help you begin trying it on your throwaways and pieces. Now, you more experienced guys, you won't have any trouble doing this on your handstyles, throwaways, or pieces, but definitely try this out. It's a great way to add style. Number 2, lean your letters. Now, leaning letters can be a little bit difficult for a newer graffiti artist. For experienced guys, this is secondhand nature. But when we lean a letter, we often change a lot of its basic qualities. For example, the letter K usually does not have negative space on the left-hand side because the stem eats up all that negative space. And we also don't get much negative space on the bottom. However, if we lean the letter to the left just a little bit, you'll see just how much negative space we suddenly get on the left-hand side. And we also get a little bit more on the bottom as well. Why is this important? Well, that negative space can be used to make letters easier to overlap, letting you position one letter closer to another letter. That negative space might allow you to do an extension if you're rocking pieces. That negative space could allow you just to help balance things out a little bit better. Regardless of the reason, leaning your letters gives you a much more dynamic letter, a much more interesting looking letter, while also helping plenty of the fundamentals so long as you plan for it. Now, leaning letters is amazing for hand styles, throwaways, and pieces, and it can make flow a lot easier as far as line uniformity and similarity is concerned, because it'll let you get one line that's similar to another line closer together. Or it may even allow you to separate two lines, preventing an overlap, which will let you see two individual different lines, which will then boost flow as well. So really, it allows for adaptability with your graffiti, regardless of whether you're doing tags, throwaways, or pieces. Now, if you want to learn a lot more stylistic things you could do to your graffiti, and you want to learn just a lot more about graffiti in general, check out our Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook in the description down below. It's the only book on the market that'll teach you each one of graffiti's fundamentals in one simple and easy read through. You'll learn all about style. I mean, we break it down to a ridiculous degree. It's kind of like crazy how deep we go with style. But we also break down each one of graffiti's fundamentals, step by step, walking side by side with you as we hold your hand through the entire learning process with hundreds of images, making it perfect for brand new graffiti artists. And your experienced guys, don't worry, man. There's something in there for you guys to learn as well. Check out this comment from somebody who bought the book recently, who even 20 years in the game still is finding great things to learn from our book. Check out digital copies in the description down below over at theartistblock.inc. Now, if you want a physical copy, check those out over on Amazon. We got a link to both of those places in the description down below for you. Let's head back into the video. Number 3, exaggerate one part of your letter. Now, let me be clear here. We're not talking about exaggerating the whole letter. We're talking about exaggerating just a singular part. Choose one part of anatomy, whether it's the bowl, whether it's the leg, or something else entirely, and exaggerate that one singular part. Admittedly, this is not easy to do for new graffiti artists. New graffiti artists will certainly struggle with this method in all forms of graffiti. This is just because of the simple fact that when we exaggerate one part of the letter, usually the other parts of the letter begin to look weaker. They begin to look as if they're lacking a little bit, and we have to compensate for that in some way. Not to mention the fact we also have to make that change either be the sole focus of the tag, or we have to make it flow by repeating that same detail elsewhere, which can be difficult to do for new graffiti artists. Experienced graffiti artists do this type of thing all the time. It's not an issue for experienced graffiti artists. I mean, at the moment, you'll be seeing various tags that do this exact thing, and they do it well. But when a new graffiti artist does it, it tends to look like a sporadic and random addition rather than something that they planned for. Now, this begs the question, how do we get around this as a new graffiti artist specifically? As a new graffiti artist, it really helps out a lot if you keep the rest of the tag very simple, and you make this one exaggerated feature the focus of your tag, especially if it happens at the beginning or the end of your tag, or if you have a 5-letter name, if you put this exaggerated feature on your third third letter. The reason we do this is so like that we either start the name off with a bang by including that feature on the first letter, we either end the name off with a bang if we apply it to the last letter, and if we apply it in the center of a name that has an odd number of letters, like a 5-letter name, then we allow that center to be the focal point of the name. Number 4, enlarge or shrink a single letter of your tag. This one is pretty easy to do. It's very similar to our previous one where we're exaggerating one feature, except this time we're exaggerating the whole letter. Now, the big concern here is letter name weight. When you enlarge a letter, you're going to make that letter really heavy, and as a result, you're going to make that side of your name really heavy as well. When you shrink down one letter, you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to lessen and decrease the weight of that letter and that side of the name. For this reason, it really helps out a lot when you enlarge either the very first letter, the last letter, or the center of your name, kind of like our last example. For shrinking your letters, it really helps if the letter that's being shrunk down is kind of in the middle of the name as well, though that doesn't have to be the only case. You can really shrink anything so long as you have the skill for it. The reason it's easier to shrink the center letters of your name is because you have the other letters in order to help fill in gaps. You have the other letters in order to help carry weight and add weight to that shrunken letter. As to where if you shrink the first letter, while it can certainly be done, it's a lot harder because you don't have something on either side to support the shrunken letter. Same applies if you shrink the last letter. By shrinking your letter, you're once again going to decrease the weight, but you're also going to increase the negative space around the letter. Number 5, and something Philly hand styles do all the time, and that is hairpin curves. Hairpin curves are amazing for hand styles, and it really is applicable to your hand styles and throwaways more so than your pieces, but regardless, it's still a great way to add style. So what exactly is a hairpin curve? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. When we come in for a line, we can create this hairpin shape in order to lead directly into our next line. This is something that we see a lot in cursive, and you would have learned it in cursive, assuming you were born before they stopped teaching cursive. And this is amazing not only for keeping the movement through your hand styles and throwaways, but it's also great stylistically. It looks clean, it looks good when done well. When done with refined lines. If your lines are sloppy and you're including hairpin curves, well then your tag's gonna look all over the place anyway. Same thing with your throwaways. But if your lines look good and your shapes look good and you're rocking hairpin curves, man, it's gonna give you some buttery smooth hand styles and throwaways. It's also, for throwaways, a great way to lead from one letter directly into the next in a smooth fashion. Now, we didn't really talk about pieces a lot here, just because in order to utilize this for pieces, you have to be pretty advanced to do it, but it is applicable. People do one-liner pieces where they use hairpin curves all the time. Also, a big focus of hairpin curves is speed and the flow of motion, for your body as you write your name. Pieces don't really cater to that because we tend to take our time with pieces. Speed is not necessarily the focus. Number 6. Now, this one's gonna sound really simple, really easy, but I can't tell you guys how many of you contact me saying, hey John, I've been doing graffiti for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and my style feels stuck. What do? I want to change things up. I want something fresh. How do I change my style? And then you show me your work, and you're doing the same shapes all the time. And that's not necessarily a problem. Don't take that as a dig against those people or anybody who does that, but rather take this as an illustration of how this next tip might seem obvious, but people with lots of experience don't see the opportunity and it goes right over their head. Change your shapes. Your shapes are key to your style. If you're rocking predominantly rounded shapes all the time and you're getting a little bit tired of that, try mixing in some more angular shapes. Or how about some more square shapes? Sky's the limit, man. Try different shapes out. You'll be surprised about how much it changes. I mean, a simple change in your shape will completely alter your negative space management, obviously your structure, that should have been number 1, I should have mentioned. It'll change your letter name weight drastically, and as a result of those things, your letter positioning has to change. So suddenly, with one simple change, all of your other fundamentals experience this cascade domino effect that forces you to alter all these other things. Now, the more drastic your shapes change, the more drastically that domino effect is going to apply. And it truly is as simple as that. Now, for throwaways and pieces, we could do something interesting here. We can actually change the shape of smaller shapes. So let's say, for example, your style tends to use a lot of angular, triangular shapes to your letters for your throwaways and your pieces. Cool, no problem there. But what if we took those pointed vertices and we made them rounded instead? You still have the triangular letter structure, that hasn't changed, but now we're changing the smaller, more minute shapes. So this is like a multi-level thing that you can get into of changing not only the bigger general shapes, but changing the smaller shapes as well. Try that out and see how it affects your style. Number 7, variant structures. Once again, I see a lot of you guys come to me and you say, hey John, man, I've been doing graffiti for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and my style feels the same. I don't know what to do, how to change it. I'm confused. Where do I go? And, well, you show me your work and you're using the same base structures all the time. Change your variant structures. Mix it up. Most letters out there have at least 1 or 2 variant structures. There's very few letters that don't have any variant structures. So when we look at a name, you're bound to have at least a couple of variant structures you could use. Take advantage of them. Explore those options. Because those variant structures, similar to changing your shapes, they're gonna mess with your negative space management, your letter name weight, your letter name positioning, and the actual letter structure itself, which all of those are gonna change your flow too. By just mixing up what variant structures you use, you give yourself a whole new topic to learn. Because I mean, we all remember how difficult it was to learn our name when we very first started graffiti. Well, now when you use variant structures that you're not familiar with, that you haven't really practiced before because you kind of got used to one thing, now you give yourself something new to learn. You give yourself something new to practice. And you give yourself a new perspective on how you want to solve issues that you're going to come across. Let's say you're rocking a more round R like this guy right here, and you decide to use a more square R like this one over here. Well, that's going to change your letter name weight. And now you're going to have to figure out, how do I balance my name with all this weight on this one letter now? Can this be a frustrating process? Yes, it can be. Especially if you're a perfectionist who likes things to be right and likes your drawings to come out the way you see them in your head immediately. But if you're willing to let yourself fail a little bit here and there and explore new paths, this is going to be amazing for you. This brings us to number 8. Move letters closer or further away from one another. This can be really difficult for anybody who's in that beginner to intermediate phase. If you're more experienced, obviously, like I always say, you'll be able to do it, no problem. You know, you guys, it'll be secondhand nature. But for anybody who's in that more intermediate and beginner area, this is going to challenge a lot of your skills and knowledge for the basics. And you're gonna struggle with this, especially if you have letters that struggle with overlaps. Consider this one of our more challenging ways to add style to our letters. Now, if you want to try this out, what I recommend is small incremental changes. If you normally position your letters like this, well, try slightly pushing them together. Make tiny changes to your typical letter positioning and see how that affects things. Now, the reason we're going about it this way is because we're looking specifically for when our letter positioning no longer works. So as we're moving things closer and closer and closer together, we're specifically looking for when we move it too close. And now we know, all right, we have to back off, or we have to make some structural changes to make that positioning work. Now, same thing applies the other way around. If we're moving things incrementally further apart, we're looking specifically for when it no longer works, and we say, all right, we gotta back off, we gotta keep things a little bit closer. Or we have to look for anything that we can do fundamentally that'll make that positioning work. Because don't get me wrong, deep overlaps like Saber right here, that can certainly work, especially for your pieces. And on the other hand, far away positioning can also work. Just look at this rhyme piece right here. Now, next up we have number 9, a great way to add style, and that's to change your baseline. Your letters rest on your baseline. So by simply just angling our baseline, bending it slightly, we can really change our tag quite a bit. What's great about this as well is it doesn't really affect the letter structures. You can have the same exact letters you always use, just positioned differently. That's really what the baseline is going to determine. It's going to determine our letter positioning as far as its vertical position. This one, I honestly think a lot of newer graffiti artists can try it out, play around with it, and enjoy the results. And what's great is this can not only affect your letters in a very drastic way, but it can also be very subtle. It doesn't have to be something super over the top and super crazy that's going to drastically alter everything about your hand style. With this, when making small changes to the baseline, you don't really have to worry all that much about your negative space management changing, your letter name weight, and having to juggle all these things. You can just make a slight little change and now suddenly your tag looks really different for not all that much effort. On the other hand, if you're more advanced or you're more, you kind of want to experiment a little bit more, well, you can make a drastic change to your baseline and change everything about your tag. So it can really go both ways. It's kind of just more a matter of how you use it, and it's really easy to use, so I'd say go ahead and give it a try. Number 10, and this one is a very subtle one, but man, does it look good. To be clear, it's more so subtle in your hand styles, and it becomes more prominent in your throwies and pieces, but that is extrusions. Now, an extrusion is simply, just to keep it real plain and Jane, is when you have a piece of your letter structure burst through the other side of another piece of letter structure. Think of this spot right here on the letter R, where we have the stem going vertical, but then you can see this little part right here poke out that's coming from the bowl of the R and connects to the leg of the R. That's an extrusion. This is also technically an extrusion because the stem is breaching through the bowl. You'll see this all the time in pieces. It's very common and a great way to add style to pieces, but you'll also see it a lot in hand styles. Hand styles can make great use out of this. And man, is it a simple way to add style. I mean, your letter structure really doesn't have to change at all. All you're doing is just extending a little tiny piece past another part of structure, so it's not all that intensive, but it can really just add a hint of style that can take a letter from looking just ordinary and normal to looking pretty dope. But dudes, that's 10 ways to add style to your graffiti in really easy and simple ways. Now, I do want to be 100% transparent because I know a lot of you guys look to this channel for credible information and you want to get better at graffiti. So let me warn you, while I encourage that you play around with these and mess with them on your free time, understand that if you're newer to graffiti, none of these are practice, right? If you're attempting these in your tags, you're attempting these in your throws and your pieces, then do not consider those attempts practice. That's just you playing around as you having a good time and exploring stylistic options. That's a different activity than practicing and studying. Want to learn how to practice and study properly? Check out the best guide to graffiti anywhere in the market with our Ultimate Graffiti Guidebook. Check out digital copies of our book in the description down below at theartistblock.inc with physical copies over on Amazon. Want the best how to do graffiti tutorials anywhere online? We got that right over here for you with more graffiti content right down here. And I'll catch you guys back here next week. Thanks for watching.